Section 1. What's the big chill? Why the first freeze matters to you. Hello everyone, it's your favorite weather guy here. Today we're talking about something that's just around the corner. The first freeze of the season. Now what does that even mean? A freeze happens when the air temperature drops to 32 degrees Fahrenheit or below. That's the magic number where water turns to ice. You might wake up one morning and see a beautiful, sparkling layer of frost on your lawn or your car windshield. That's the first sign that Old Man Winter is starting to wake up from his long summer nap. It's a real turning point in the year, signaling a major shift in the seasons. Section 2. El Niño, La Niña, and the weather dance. Now you might be wondering, how do we predict these freeze dates? Is it just a guessing game? Not at all. We look at decades of climate data, and we watch big, powerful weather patterns that can shake things up. The two biggest players on the stage are El Niño and La Niña. Think of them as the world's biggest weather influencers. They form in the Pacific Ocean, but their effects ripple across the globe, especially in the US. They can make winters warmer, colder, wetter, or drier than usual. Let's talk about fall 2025. This year we're in a neutral phase. That means neither El Niño nor La Niña is calling the shots. A neutral year is a wild card, but often points toward a more average pattern. So what does that mean for your first freeze date? It suggests historical averages are likely to hold. A neutral year is a calm day. Your time will likely be near average. For fall, historical data is our best guide. It's all part of the fascinating dance of weather. Section 3. The early birds. When the Rockies and High Plains feel the frost. Alright, let's start our countdown across the country. Who gets the first taste of winter? The earliest freeze almost always hits high elevation areas of the Rocky Mountains. Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Colorado, especially mountain towns. Laramie, Wyoming, Gunnison, Colorado. You're no stranger to seeing frost in late summer. For these regions, the first freeze can arrive as early as late August, but it more commonly settles in during the first half of September. By today, September 5th, many of these areas have already had their first frosty morning. Why so early? It's all about altitude. The higher you go, the colder the air gets. Thin mountain air doesn't hold on to heat very well. As soon as the sun goes down, temperatures can plummet very quickly. As we move from September into early October, the wave of cold air expands its reach. The next regions to feel that frosty chill are the upper Midwest and the interior parts of New England, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. In cities like Minneapolis, Minnesota, or Augusta, Maine, the average first freeze date lands squarely in the first couple of weeks of October. Usually you can circle a date between October 1st and October 15th as the likely time to say goodbye to the growing season. These areas are famous for their brilliant fall foliage. The cool nights and sunny days that bring on the frost turn leaves red, turn leaves orange, turn leaves yellow. So, while the freeze means the end of summer gardening, it also ushers in one of the most beautiful times of the year in this part of the country. These states are far enough north to get early visits from cold Canadian air masses. At night, that heat radiates away quickly, allowing temperatures to drop to the freezing mark. Now is the perfect time to start your freeze preparations. Now let's move our weather tour into the heartland of America. We're looking at the Central Plains and the broader Midwest, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Missouri, Kansas. This is a huge swath of the country. The first freeze dates can vary a bit, but generally we see the cold settling in during the second half of October. For major cities like Chicago, Indianapolis, Kansas City, the average window for the first 32-degree temperature is between October 15th and October 31st. It's the time of year when Halloween decorations get a real authentic touch of spooky, frosty air. This region is the agricultural powerhouse of the nation. The first freeze is a date that every farmer watches with extreme focus. Corn harvest, soybean harvest. A freeze that arrives too early can damage crops that haven't fully matured, potentially costing farmers millions of dollars. An average or slightly later freeze, on the other hand, is perfect. It helps to dry down the crops in the field, making them easier to harvest. As we continue our journey south and east, the timetable for the first freeze gets pushed back a little further. Now we're looking at the Ohio Valley and the Mid-Atlantic region, Pennsylvania, southern New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, West Virginia. In this part of the country, you get a little more breathing room. The first freeze typically waits until early to mid-November to make its grand entrance. Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. One of the big reasons for the delay is the influence of the Atlantic Ocean. Proximity to a large body of water acts like a natural heater. The ocean soaks up heat in summer and releases it slowly through fall. This keeps coastal and nearby inland locations milder for longer. Be smart. Use these extra weeks to your advantage. The gentle warning of a November freeze in the mid-Atlantic is a gift of time. Use it wisely. Let's head down to the southeast, a region known for its long, warm summers. North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama get to hold on to milder weather for quite a while. Here, the first freeze is a late autumn event, typically arriving in the second half of November. And now, for our final stop on this frosty tour, the regions that hold out the longest against winter's chill. We're talking about the Deep South, places like Florida, the Gulf Coast of Louisiana, Mississippi, southern Texas, and the Pacific Coast of California. In cities like Orlando, New Orleans, Houston, the first freeze, if it happens at all, typically waits until December or even January. Along the immediate coast, some locations can go entire winters without ever dropping to 32 degrees. So, now that you have an idea of when to expect that first chill, what should you do to prepare? Don't worry, getting ready for the first freeze is easy, and a little preparation goes a long way. Let's start with your beautiful garden. For your tender annuals and vegetables, the freeze is the end of the line. Make sure you harvest any remaining tomatoes, even the green ones, peppers, herbs. You can bring potted plants indoors to a sunny window, covering them with a light blanket, a sheet or a special frost cloth before sunset. Also, don't forget to give your plants a good watering the day before a predicted freeze. Next, let's think about your home. The biggest risk from a freeze is burst pipes, which can cause thousands of dollars in water damage. It's a simple but crucial chore. Walk around your house and disconnect all your garden hoses from the outdoor faucets. For extra protection, you can put an insulated foam cover over each faucet. Finally, remember your four-legged family members and your car. While many dogs and cats have fur coats, they are still vulnerable to the cold, especially if they are older or not used to it. The first freeze is a great reminder to make sure your pets have a warm, dry place to sleep indoors. For your car, it's a good time to check your tire pressure as cold air can cause it to drop. Also, check your antifreeze levels to ensure your engine is protected. And as I always say, the best preparation is to stay informed. We'll be here to guide you every step of the way. Stay warm.